Hello, past, present, or future engineers. My name is Warren Goodell, and I'm one of the wonderful hosts for an inspiring podcast. Today, I am joined by my wonderful co host.
Hello, I'm Derek Garcia. I am the wonderful co host.
So, today is a very special episode. Why? It's because we don't have students here, we have teachers. Crazy, I know. And also, another fact you'll see, what? We have videos? That's crazy. Yes, today we're recording on Zoom.
That's crazy.
So let's kind of get the introduction of our participants here.
Okay, I guess I'll start off. I'm Alejandro Medina. I'm the principal at Da Vinci. I've been working with InSPREing so long that I can't remember. I'm gonna guess like maybe 10 years now, maybe 9 or 10. I can't remember. But it's been great. I love working with InSPREing and everything that goes on with InSPREing. So that's kind of my intro. So next to Ms. Leyes.
Hello, good morning. My name is Ms. Reyes, and I am art / graphic design / this InSPREing teacher. And I've been helping out with InSPREing for so long that I can't remember. But yes, I have to agree with Mr. Medina. I love InSPREing, and I never thought that it would be like a very rewarding experience. And yes, that's pretty much it.
All right. So I am Pedro Hernandez. I'm now going into my 8th year at Da Vinci, and I think it's going to be my 8th year helping out with InSPREing. I first started off with just giving feedback in the presentations that Mr. Medina would hold. And then little by little, I was more and more involved, and now I am teaching, or I'm running the senior InSPREing groups and some of the junior InSPREing groups. Ms. Gilmore?
Hello, my name is Lisette Gilmore, and this is my first year teaching and also my first year in InSPREing. And I think it's pretty cool exposure for students who wants to pursue an engineering degree. I think it's very, very nice. I love InSPREing because it's as I say, it's an exposure for college. Yeah. And I was working as an engineer before, and so whatever you need, I can help you. And that's all.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it sounds like these teachers have been working on InSPREing, besides Ms. Gilmore, of course, for about like half their lives. So they should know what they're talking about.
It is actually true.
So let's get into the first question. This is for Medina, Reyes, and Hernandez. So what was it kind of like seeing InSPREing grow for Da Vinci in the years?
Okay, I guess I'll start off and then they can add whatever they need. Da Vinci, when we started it, I guess a long time ago, we weren't as good as we are right now. I think we even placed last place the first time we went, and it was bad. The first teams that went over there, we didn't have any experience. We didn't know what to expect. The judges really, they really, I guess, destroyed us in a way. But at the same time, it just the whole school, we have that culture, I guess, of winning, and of course, we just tried the next year to be better, and we got a little bit better. I think we brought back one little trophy, I think, for community engagement, but we lost on everything else. But we accomplished something that next year, and then of course we went all out on our third year, and that's when Da Vinci, I guess, legacy actually, I guess, started. We started bringing a lot more trophies, so people start to recognize us over there in Alabama, especially since that day, because since that third year, because no other schools had taken that many divisions. And the next year we topped ourselves, and then we just continue. And then the seniors started making this tradition of the senior teams always winning. So every time they graduated, everybody had a medal. So it was really good. It started becoming part of Da Vinci's culture. Inspires, they start to blend, and it's just something we add every year, something new. Like this year, with the idea that you guys have this year, we're adding this podcast idea. So it's really fun. It's really good to see that it's tailored to anybody's interest. Any like we have the movie. It was tailored because one student wanted to do that movie. You guys with the podcast, I think it's great. It's something new. Ideas like that, I guess, kind of helped us integrate the engineering program we have. What we want to do, right? That it's to not force you into engineering, although we would like for you to go into a STEM field. But if not, to actually use what you learned throughout this type of projects, and hopefully in the future apply it to any career that you're going to be going through. So that's kind of a, but yeah, their reputation over there, I guess, going back, if you go to Alabama, everybody knows Da Vinci. And then, yeah. So I guess Mr. Hernandez Millet, anything you would like to add?
Sure. I add to that. If I wasn't there for the first couple of years of InSPREing, like I was there in the school, but I wasn't really helping out. And once Mr. Medina kind of like integrated art and asked me to be a little more involved, I can see how the kids are growing little by little, like generation through generation. And I can see, like, when you go to Alabama and when they present, you can really feel like the super high expectations that they have. The judges over there, people over there, they're waiting for Da Vinci. And not to be mean or not to brag, but when you see the students from other schools trying to see what Da Vinci has new, what Da Vinci is offering, I don't know, that really, I guess, motivates the student as well as us, because you can see how people are looking forward to see what you're going to offer every year. And that keeps you motivated for the next year and the next year. And I think that's how I will say that I can see how we're growing, how people really, really are looking forward for what we're gonna show every year. Mr. Hernandez.
Yeah, basically to kind of bring everything together that Mr. Medina and Ms. Reyes said, you know, it's an incredible experience when you see how the kids first start off in the beginning of the semester, and then once you get to Alabama, it's a completely different thing. You know, they're all dressed up in their suits, and I remember the first time I had gone to Alabama, you know, I saw it for myself. The kids did a full transformation, you know, and they looked incredibly professional. And you looked around and you have this sense of pride because you can tell that our kids are standing out, and everybody else's are just kind of like, oh, whatever. No, our kids, they're on it and they're ready. And so how Inspires has grown, it's obviously it's becoming it is a part of the district's DNA at this point. At any moment when we say Inspires, some of the kids are like, ugh, but that's because they hear it all the time because it's there, and it's something that they need to do. And at first, they'll complain or this or that, but it's not until once they realize what's at stake that they finally understand, like, okay, now I get it, and it's grown to the point where we have to keep looking for ways to keep it fresh, to keep it interesting. What else can we add to it that hasn't been done before? And so, this time around, well, we can't do the movie because of COVID, and then all of a sudden, hey, let's do a podcast that hadn't been done before. It's new. You know what? Let's go for it.
Sounds like Da Vinci and Inspires have quite a history together. So can someone kind of mention a little bit more on what other teams really think about Da Vinci? Because I kind of heard from Patrick and other people from UAH that we have quite a reputation. Can someone mention more about that?
I guess it has to do with even the way, well, it comes with everything. It's like a whole package. The confidence with like that the students have when they present, the way they present, how familiar they are with the presentation and the information they're giving, the quality of the presentation itself, all the hard work that they put when they set up the tables, and when people stop by the tables and look at the shirts, the everything, shirts, logo, the kids dressing up and they all match. I guess it goes with, it's like a whole package.
Yeah, adding to that, it's the attention to detail. Yeah, like she talked about, even the dressing up. Everybody, like, you have your suit, you pick the same color shirt, you pick the same color tie for the gentleman, and then the girls also match up, and then it represents it going else along with their project. Like if their theme in the PowerPoint is kind of bluish, so that's kind of the theme for everything. So those little details, of course, start put setting you apart from everybody else. Like I always mention to you guys, how what are you going to do to make yourself stand out from everything and from everybody else? And that's our reputation. We stand out from everybody else. You go to the competition, and I know with COVID we can't do it, but if you were there, you could see and recognize which ones are Da Vinci teams and which ones are not. Why? Because of that standing out. That's the reputation. That's why judges even fight to go and see the Da Vinci presentation, because they want to see what's the extra. Why is the people always talking about Da Vinci? And then the way that we practice for the presentation, and then having a lot of people involved, different points of view. Like Mr. Hernandez can catch stuff that I might miss. Ms. Leyes also can catch different points. And now that we added Ms. Gilmore with that industry, I guess, experience, that's just going to keep adding to our program. And that's what makes us stand out, because you can even see it. We have former students coming and wanting to keep helping, keep being part of Da Vinci, trying to remind everybody, hey guys, you better not mess it up. We've been, let's say, 8 years in a row winning. Hopefully you guys aren't the ones who mess it up. And things like that, because the pressure's there. And then especially the tradition now that we have every time the seniors winning, that's something we don't want to lose. That's something that's part of our reputation now that we want to keep. And then hopefully we're going to go to that, I guess, perfect level where we're being really close to winning everything. Uh, but we're just there. And it's, I guess that's the basic reputation of us in Da Vinci. We make ourselves stand out from the rest. So.
Yeah. And again, to bring everything together, we've set such a high we have such a reputation that when I remember, I think this was the second time around that I had gone, and at that time, like, they put Da Vinci into different divisions, and sure enough, like Division A, first place for this, but then first place overall, Da Vinci. And like I remember, like, you look around and you just see the people's faces, kind of like, of course, like Da Vinci, right? And we just, I don't know, like, it's something that it's incredibly amazing, especially because the kids for themselves, they see all the work that they put in. Like some of these kids, they stay up late at night, like they get into arguments and discussions, and sometimes, either they'll find themselves in front of Medina or with me, like, oh, I can't do this, I'm tired of this, but then once they get there and then they win, and and so they see what it was all for at the end, so yeah, it's something that even though I wasn't, doing the engineering classes before, even I bought into the hype, if that makes any sense. And it's so much so that I saw it for myself that this is real, it's legit. and this goes all the way, and there's no doubt about, the quality that these kids, like put out. And so, the reputation, it's easy getting there, and it's very difficult to maintain it.
You hear that, MIT? We're coming for you. We're going to be the best engineering school ever.
Now, keeping with this train of nice good things, I like to ask all of you currently, like, what's your favorite Inspires moment? Reyes, start us off.
Well, I guess my favorite part would be the trip. I'm just kidding. It is a trip, but in a sense that I guess the itinerary is made so students can have fun. But when it comes to the real thing and the reason why we are in Alabama, they switch up. Like they go from being students and I guess silly and whatever to be very professional and very on their things. They have to make sure that they bring everything they need for presentation, laptops, iPads, everything that they need. I know this year is going to work a little different, but that's the part that I think I'm really missing out. That they all, like Pedro said before, they all look so professional in the morning, and I think by looking professional, that it switches on their head and they act very professional. They are ready. And I love going into the presentations because the day before they were running around and they were playing around. And now for the presentation, they present so well, very, very professional. And I will say they even present better than me. But I think that's the part that I enjoy the most, like to see how they can be like silly student, and then the next day they are so professional and so well prepared for that competition. I think that's so cool.
Kind of seeing that shift from just student to real engineer.
Yes, of course. And because sometimes I even get a little scared with the questions that the judges are gonna and to see how they well answered and they look so confident. I don't know. I think that's amazing for me to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is-
Sorry. Go ahead. Oh, okay. I guess my favorite Inspires moment. It was actually last year, and to start off, I was really worried, because of COVID, the trip got canceled. Everything basically got canceled, and I was worried, and that's just because I know that where DaVinci does, best is when they present. That's where we really set the standard, right? And I was worried because like we had some of the senior groups that I had last year, like they present really well, and I was really disappointed because they weren't going to get to show that. They weren't going to get to show how well they present, and they won. Both teams won, and part of it was it was kind of like, okay, instead of Medina having the class, I was the one that had them, and then they still won. And so in some way that was kind of like a validation for myself, like, okay, I did what I needed to do. And then so that was my one favorite moment. And then I have a second one, and I'm never ever gonna forget this. I know I wasn't there, but Medina and Ms. Reyes were there, and that was when we had a team that presented, and then as soon as they finished, the timer went off. Like they used their full, I don't know, what is it, 20-25 minutes, I don't know what it was, but as soon as they said, this concludes our presentation, thank you, and it was something that I'm never ever gonna forget because because we always tell them you want to use as much time as you can, because anytime you leave them, that's extra time that they can ask you questions. No, they used their entire time and they presented it exactly how they were supposed to do it, and it's almost like everything we told them, they used it and they did it.
Just that culmination moment right there for you guys. Perfect.
I know Miss Gilmore's kind of new. Do you want to say something, I guess, on the experience you had with Inspires, a moment that you kind of have love right now?
Yeah, like your favorite current moment.
Yeah, for sure. This is my first year, and I haven't traveling to Alabama, but I think for me the best moments for me are being the TPRs, the presentations to Pratik and Audrey. And I think I can see all of the potential that Da Vinci Kids has to, pursue anything as they want. As Ms. Reyes say, also they also present better than me. I can say when I was in the university, I was very shy. I didn't want to present in public, and I think this is a very very nice exposure for you guys, for so you can pursue any degree as you want.
Okay, thank you. I guess for me, I have a lot of favorite moments. It's been so
Oh,
many
well,
years,
sir, don't take up all our time.
but I'll pick one or two maybe. One that I think it's really important that it shows our culture was one year. I know we've always trying to achieve that perfection, and I know every time we get there, I always try to remind them, either we all win or we all lose. So even if we bring just one trophy, it's all of us. It's the juniors and the seniors working together for that one thing, because we practice together, we help each other together. So all the trophies we bring back, it's not just one team. It's gonna be all of us because we are all helping each other. We're part of the same group. So I guess my moment, I guess that time when it happened, to go to it, is that they were doing the results, right? And I think we had four teams at that time. Three teams won, and one didn't win overall. So we were so close, and they still won a trophy or two, but of course they won it overall. And of course, their PM was crying. And what I noticed, even without me telling them, a senior, I guess, PM approached the team, and then a couple, with, I guess, with the other PM, and they started talking to the other team and telling them, "Hey, guys, kind of don't feel bad." I wasn't close to them, so I couldn't tell what they were hearing, but I know they were comforting them and kind of reminding them that saying that, "Hey, you're part of this whole thing." They let them hold the other trophy, and of course, they got then later on the whole group, and kind of reminding them about that. We all win, we all lose. There's no one team, because we all the time we help each other out. That's a school. So for me, that was the perfect thing I wanted to see, because I always tell them, "Hey guys, before we go in, even if we bring right one trophy, it's gonna be for all of us. But we want to win as many as we can as a group." So that's why I tell them it's really hard to win everything. So that's why every single trophy for us is going to count. And remember, it's all of us together, because you might have given them some advice. You might have worked together. We do the competition before we go. So you just make them better. And so I guess that was one of my favorite moments, because without even me telling them anything, they went and talked to each other, comfort each other. Somebody even we went to the parking lot. Somebody, I guess, even gave a speech to them about reminding them about this thing. So for me, that was really important. That was a great moment to see happen, because that's what I guess I want, because you're not going to win all the time. You're not going to lose all the time. But that unity needs to stay there. And that was great. That was one of the favorite moments that I remember about Inspires. Of course, there's a bunch more that I could list, like listening to We Are the Champions after we win and things like that, going to the museum, going to Jack Daniel's distillery, things like that. That you create great memories with everybody. Those are also great moments that I'll cherish forever, because you create those memories with everybody. So those ones are great. But yeah, my one of my favorite ones was the one that I talked to you before.
You heard it here. The principal's favorite moment is students crying.
That it's his only favorite moment. Now, we went through a lot of our favorite moments, and of course, with every high, must come the low, of course, right? So, let's start us. Let's hear some least favorite moments. Medina, let's go back with you.
Okay. I guess one of my least favorite moments was, I guess, when I saw, I guess, all the presentations. I guess me being a judge, I always try to give myself and rank teams. Um, I thought the one team that I placed in first place was gonna win it really easily, and that year, that was the only team that didn't win. I saw the Da Vinci presentation, so I was confused. So that was one of my least favorite moments because I thought at that time that it was unfair. Those guys did an excellent presentation, and I would place them on the top of every team, and they didn't win. So I guess in that sense, I didn't like it, but I use it as I guess, as a teaching tool to everybody because I was honest with all the team. This team should have won, and they didn't. So what do we have to learn from this? First of all, life is not fair sometimes. Sometimes remember you have to respect the other people's opinions, right? The judges might have their own opinion. They might have gotten distracted, and that's life. It's gonna happen. So sometimes when you might deserve something, you might not get it. And even though we think it's not fair, that's another life lesson. So that was kind of one that I remember that I didn't like because I really thought that that team should have won, and I didn't like it. So that was my least favorite moment. But I thought we still learned something, and that's why I always bring it up. Hey, you might do the best job in everything, but sometimes life happens, and you might not get what you deserve. So,
Mister, speaking of that, I actually remember when the teams came back and when that all happened.
mhm.
I remember just you could like feel it in Da Vinci, that whole like that energy when
But it was good. The other teams, of course, won and everything. But I really thought that that team was going to win. So that was
sometimes
my
just,
favorite one, and that's the one I remember. That, but it's life. Yeah,
yeah, just the way the cards are dealt.
exactly. So that was mine.
Now, Miss Gilmore, I know you're new, but maybe what's a part of Inspires that you're just not really resonating with, something that you just don't like particularly or wish could be changed.
Well, I think this happens everywhere. So, like working as a team, it's hard because you can see how other students work harder than others who are not doing too much. So I think that that's the hard thing for me that I don't like, and I with the years I hope I can feel better on how can I balance that situation. And right now it's harder that we have to join Zoom. You don't see the students physically, and it's a little bit hard.
Yeah. I can't wait for in the future to see this video and you can see how much your opinion has changed or stayed the same. Uh, uh since Mr. Hernandez is busy with something real quick, Reyes, what was your favorite Inspires moment? Wait, hold on. Least favorite. Misread the question.
Okay, isn't it supposed to be the least?
Listen, it's early morning. Full disclosure.
Okay, so I remember as a teacher, you always want to help them out. And if they forgot something in El Paso once you're in Alabama, you try to do all you can do to kind of help them out. I always bring Sharpies, X-Acto knives, glue, scissors, everything, just because I know last minute things can happen. And I remember one year, one of the students, she forgot her skirt, and I had to lend my skirt to her. um, but that's not the least favorite moment. I guess the one that really and it's just not one thing. Once I get to go into the presentations and I see that they might be doing something that it's not a big of a deal, but I can see it and I notice that they're doing something they don't supposed to, or they're standing and they're blocking somebody else that is presenting. I don't know, something like that. That it might sound very like I'm exaggerating, since I know that that looks bad to me. It bothers me so much. So that's my least favorite thing, to see little mistakes that maybe the judges they don't even see it, but I'm standing there looking at it, and it bugs me so much. And I remember one year, I think he was, I'm not sure, but I think he was an ACE leader or something, and he was no, he was a data analyst, and he was holding up the binder the whole presentation, holding it like, what the frick, like leave it alone, put it somewhere. And that really bugged me. So yes, those kind of things, like little mistakes that I know I can help them out, but I don't want to make signs to them because they might think like something else is wrong, or I don't know. I don't want to confuse them. But that really bugs me, not being able to help them out when I'm like right in front of them during presentations.
Okay. This just in: Reyes hates data analysts.
We're gonna have a nice recap at the end of the video.
Yeah, Medina makes students cry, or likes students crying. Reyes hates data analysts. Hernandez is still missing. Okay. Co-host, you can take it.
Okay. So, well, we have someone missing in action. Let's kind of go
Godspeed.
over how InSPREs work. Can someone tell me like the schedule of InSPREs?
Yeah, that's easy. I guess we always start in the spring, like around even January. Sorry, I should say. So the new semester is kind of when we start usually, and then it goes all the way up to May, and of course everything happens in between, or has to happen in between. All of our activities, everything we want to do, the project, everything has to fit in, and it sounds like a lot of time, but it's not. So yeah, January, May approximately would be the starting and end point for InSPIREs.
Okay.
So
Also, sorry. I was gonna say, I feel like every year, maybe it's just the years I've been in Inspires, I feel like we've always started a week late. I feel like that's just a thing we somehow accidentally manage to do consistently.
Malays is saying that, but probably if you were with me, we did start a little bit late.
Oh, I started something. Oh God.
But Malays started on time. I'll accept it. Sometimes I have started late because we're finishing up the other project, but I think this year maybe Mr. Hernandez, Ms. Reyes, and Ms. Gilmore are better on that one.
I think the only thing that threw everything off was that extra week we had off of winter break. Because typically we never had that. It was only 2 weeks, but this time we had 3 weeks. And so we kind of had to hit the ground running. And I mean, we were all there trying to have interviews for the positions and, get everything going. So I don't think we really like into what we needed to get into as far as the notebook goes. Having the teams and all that stuff done, we didn't really have it. I think it was into like half of week one, according to what we had on the notebook. But I mean, once we had the teams going, by that point, I'm like, myself, I know Ms. Reyes and Ms. Gilmore, we had already anticipated some of these things. So we had given assignments that covered some of the items that were within week one. So by the time the teams were made, they already have it. They should have already had a general, like a base understanding of Titan and InSPIREs.
This just in, I accidentally threw everyone under the bus. Now that Mr. Hernandez is back, let's quickly circle back to that. Mr., what was your least favorite InSPIREs moment?
My least favorite, and honestly,
be honest here, sir.
No, it's a
safe space.
It's a number of least favorite moments, but they're all the same. It's whenever our teams don't win. And that's just because, you see the work that the kids put into it. I know that this was maybe 2-3 years ago, and I think Mr. Medina was there as well. We had one of the junior teams, they didn't win. And, I mean, we thought that their presentation was, one of the best. I mean, they presented to, I can't remember he was a director of like I think it was the national security. my god, I cannot remember the name right now. But anyways, he was a director for God's sakes, and they presented to him, and he loved their presentation, and he was just taken aback, and then I think once he found out, or he was like, "Where are you guys from?" And then the kids from, "Oh, we're from El Paso," and he was like, "What the heck? Like, what are you guys doing all the way over here?" And they did extremely well, and sure enough, they didn't win. And so obviously that was one of my least favorites, but yeah, I think overall it's whenever our teams don't win, that's my least favorite.
I'd like to point out that 3 of the 4 stories were based on that one loss. I would just like to point that out to everyone involved. Please, Mr. Co-host, continue.
Okay. So let's kind of go into a forbidden word right now. And that word is COVID. Can someone please tell me how COVID has impacted school from a teacher standpoint? Hernandez, can you please go first?
Obviously it's it threw everything off from what we were used to, starting from ever since a year ago. Interesting. That's very interesting. It's basically going to be at the anniversary almost of when they're just like, everybody go home.
March 13th, sir.
Yeah.
That was
And
the day.
so it's changed everything. It's kind of been, it has its good and bad parts. I'll start off with the bad just to end with the good. The bad stuff, it's just the fact that having to coordinate, especially some of the kids that are in the classroom and those that are outside of the classroom, trying to hold the kids accountable, for the work that they're supposed to be doing within their teams, within their like whatever group they're in. And the positives, though, it really seems like the kids have just taken it in stride. At least with my groups, they've really taken it in stride. Everybody's coordinating. Whenever I've had TPRs, I'm in the presentation, and then I'll tell the other kids like, "Hey, you guys need to have your own session, and you guys need to work, and you need to do this, you need to do that." And then they're like, "Okay, fine." And as I'm watching the TPR, I'm looking over here, and they're working, they're coordinating, they're planning. Hey, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. Mister, this person hasn't responded. I just emailed them. So I feel that they've really kind of stepped it up. And sorry about that. But yeah, no, that's how COVID has, impacted us. I mean, even UAH, they've had to really change, a lot of things, especially like outreach. It's not what it used to be before, right? And I think that was one of the parts where we would, just go above and beyond what we would usually do with our the carnival, and just putting something together. That's again, that was something that's Da Vinci's DNA. It was like, the inspired the Spring Carnival or Spring Fest, people showing up, having vendors, having food, drinks, hamburgers, all that stuff, everything. That's what everybody looked forward to, especially going into spring.
Rest in peace to our seniors who aren't going to be able to experience anything like that in their lifetime.
No, don't even get us started.
Okay, Miss Gilmore, would you like to go next?
So for me, what COVID is impacted is I don't have any inspired kids in my class. I mean, physically, so it's a little bit harder to work. But I think I wish we can be physically seeing them, and I can work, help them better. I feel that some students, maybe they're shy and they don't ask questions. So I don't know, how can I help them? So yeah, that's what's impacted to me. Thank you.
Okay, next up, our principal, Medina.
Okay. Yeah, well, COVID's been bad. There's no other way around it. It's been bad. I don't like it. I would prefer to have everybody here. It's a big difference. It would have, like you said, if we were been able to do all the activities we normally do. seniors and juniors would get a chance to compete to see who would go on that trip and get that life experience. So COVID, in my eyes, is just bad. And of course, there's good things to come up with, but it's stuff that you guys are doing, like this podcast, the new ideas. That's the only good thing I can see. Like the new ideas that COVID has to inspired everybody. Like how do you work now between these two interfaces, having students face to face and having students virtually? Those are the good things that I guess that have make us, I guess, learn something new and try to overcome that difficulty. But overall, yeah, for me, I don't like it, and I think it's bad.
I mean, Inspires teaches us this that problem creates innovation. So
Yes, engineers.
that's us, or some of them.
Okay. Can you finish it up, Ms. Reyes?
I kind of agree with Mr. Medina in saying that the only good thing that I can see from COVID are the new ideas. How we need to really think of how are we gonna reach to get more people involved into this, or how are we gonna be able to organize so we can work on this or that for the presentation. That's the only good thing that I see from COVID. Bad thing, I do see a lot of bad things. I have none of my leaders are in person, so it's been really hard and challenging for them. Um, Not just because they can be like next to each other, like thinking the same way or doing and helping them out, like helping each other out. But also because there are, even though they're all juniors, there are kids that never ever talked to each other before that class, so they don't really know each other. They never work together, and it's really hard when I put them into breakup rooms or when I ask them to I don't know, even text each other and come up with a solution or something. It's really hard for them because they're kind of shy. That was at the beginning though. Right now it's working a little smoother, I will say, and it's working better. But that's like that's I think that's a very challenging part because there are kids that are very very shy, and COVID it's not helping out at all. So I think that's what COVID represents to me, like way more negatives than positives, to be honest with you.
Fair. So we kind of talked a little about how it impacted Inspires, but how about day-to-day school? Yeah, Reyes, can you please go first?
Of course. Well, for me, teaching it's the whole experience of being able to talk to the students and get a quick response right there. When you're talking to the students through Zoom, it's like talking to the wall sometimes because you don't even get a yes, no. If you don't ask them sometimes to turn on their cameras, you can even see if the students it's really there or it's not there. Um, I don't feel like students are as motivated as when they come to school. The whole part about um, showering and getting ready, having breakfast and everything, that makes it that I guess that prepares you for your day and for them to turn on the computer. I really feel like students are lacking of um, motivation right now. Um, to me, to talk, not talk the subject is, but also to be able to see if they are feeling a little down or if they're super pumped up or all that. I think it's it's not the same for me. So it is very challenging for me as a teacher. I don't know for the rest of the teachers, but that's what it's happening to me. I'm trying my best, and I always like I do joke around with my students, and of course I teach, but I do like the interaction as well, and I try to keep it the same way, but it's been really really hard.
So let's let Miss Rios walk down our 5-star hotel and let's talk to Mr. Hernandez. I realized I kind of forgot about you for the question about the inspires. Can you please go over that and how it affects real life as well?
Um, Wait, could you elaborate on that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I basically forgot to ask you about how COVID has impacted inspires.
Well, I think I answered that one first, but um,
just explain how it's affected
Yeah.
affected school.
However, though, how it has impacted school. Oh my goodness, where do you even start? I mean, I could get super technical about this. Like just the students, children thrive on social interaction and talking, and just them sitting in front of the computer, it's just not the same. I mean, you can make the breakout rooms. I remember in the beginning when I had the breakout rooms, the kids were talking and this and that, but now every now and then I'll drop in and it's just quiet and it's like, hey, are you guys okay? Oh yeah, we're just doing the work. you know Obviously this has, I mean, just got to be honest about it, it's had a huge negative impact on the kids. And like Mr. Reyes was saying, motivation wise, they're, I mean, it's like I can't even imagine, just the whole idea of just waking up, turning on the computer, sitting there and listening for attendance, and then just kind of the routine of it all. Whereas when they were in school, it was like, yes, there was a routine, but you know what? You were with your classmates, you were talking, your teacher was joking with you. It's just everything's different, you know. And I mean, it's just one of those things where we're just trying to do the best we can, and we just have to be realistic of the situation. That what was considered to be the normal procedures, we have to be like, that's not how it is right now. And we need to be aware of that and kind of make that accommodation, and like, we'll take what we can and just make the best out of it.
To actually add on to what Mr. Hernandez was saying is another part of that is like physical movement. Like a lot of it is like sitting in one place for the whole day, right? And as like a student, right, I would have to go around the whole school, go to class, and at first you don't really notice it, but like I have an Apple Watch, and like I can drastically see the no movement, and you can really feel it as time goes on. It starts to build, like, oh, it's just so sluggish and not getting that movement out and like going to places and just sitting in one place, having to take attendance, pay attention, all that. But like in a classroom, you could move around a little, you can stand, but if you miss something in a Zoom, you're like, oh, I don't know what lesson's happening anymore. How do we get to trigonometry?
Right. Okay. So third up is Miss Gilmore.
Yeah, I am agree with Ms. Reyes and Mr. Hernandez. This is not a normal. To be my first year, I feel it is being very hard. I think I'm missing that interaction with the students. I also feel, to add to Ms. Reyes and Mr. Hernandez, I feel that they are good students, but since they're working from home, I feel their grades are getting down. They're failing, even though they are like they could be their potential could be better being at the school. So I am, yeah, COVID is not been helping at all.
And then we kind of saved the best for last, the one who probably has the most to say on this topic. Mr. Medina, why don't you go ahead?
We're the least.
Or the least, yeah. I guess everything's covered, and we know that. We know the answers. COVID, yeah, not I guess virtual teaching doesn't work for most of the students. I'm not going to say for all, because some students do like it and some students are doing their job. But if you really want that full experience that from the teachers, the coaching part, you need to be here at the school. There's no other way around it. Even though you might be successful at home and doing your own stuff, I think you would still be missing that important piece of having those connections with teachers, that networking with other students. You're gonna miss on that. So I agree with everything everybody said, and it is bad. If you ask for my opinion, I would prefer if everybody, like I said, to be here, because you won't get that networking, those interactions virtually, the same way that you're going to get them here. And like I said, you might be really good in getting your hundreds on all of your classes still, but you're still missing that other piece, which I think it's really important. And that's why hopefully we can get everybody back soon.
It's definitely interesting seeing the, because as we interview students throughout the weeks, it's definitely interesting seeing the contrast of how the students feel on this exact same subject to how the teachers feel, because it's crazy because it's pretty much the same, but you can see the effect on the students, and the teachers have to kind of deal with that effect and how each student is affected.
And then, just not to be, I guess, mean, but I know Miss Leas, Miss Gilmore are out. So I guess let's try to wrap it up in next 10 minutes or so.
Oh, you want to go through speed questions?
Well, if you guys want to, because I know I told them an hour, and I want to be respectful of their time. We're close to the hour.
That is true. You guys surprised us with how long this was. We're barely
Yeah,
at question
I was
3.
surprised. I thought it was gonna be like 20 minutes and let's go.
I know.
But yeah, I
Yeah,
want to
it's
respect them,
long.
and I know they're doing their thing. They're on a break. Some of them, I know Mr. Hernandez is here, but Ms. Leas and Ms. Gilmore need to probably go and do their stuff. So.
Yeah, I'll say this is surprising because this is one of like the least I've written for the questions. This is the longest they've gone on, besides like maybe a rare example.
Sorry.
Okay, it's good. We love the stuff as hosts.
It's true. Makes our lives better.
Yeah. So let's kind of speed through these questions then. Derek, would you like to ask the next question?
I would. Okay. Rapid round. Everyone, what is inspires to you? Miss Gilmore, start us off.
Well, to me, starting, to me inspires is I learning about the, all of the planets. I mean, I know I see it, but this is new to me. I have never heard, that there was a moon in several moons in Saturn. So all of this is new to me, and it's very excited. It's very excited to know all of this. It is, I like it a lot. I think it's very nice, as I say before, it's a very nice exposure to all of you for your future endeavors. Whatever you want to pursue. Inspires is working as a team. This is this is very nice. I wish could see all of you physically working as a team, since it's hard than working online. And then I think that's pretty much all. Thank you.
Mr. Medina, how do you feel?
I guess, well, inspires it's been great, but it's something, I guess, that it could have been nothing. I don't know, because like I always said, you guys hear my speech every time. Inspires can be the best thing you do, or it can be the worst thing you have to do. And it's all gonna be up to you. And usually that's, I guess, how things in life are gonna happen to everybody. You're gonna decide what you take from them, and this is could be just another project that you are not going to do anything, or it's going to be a project where you actually use it to build a resume, to go through some experiences like an interview, go and seek something that you like and connect to the project. Like I know I've been mentioning a lot, like your podcast right now. I like to remind people that this is an idea that came from you guys, not us. So things like that is you make of Inspires what you want, and you're going to tailor it to your needs. And us, as I guess, as the teachers, we're going to kind of help you and tailor it to you so that you can get a really good experience. But it's also for something that you really like. It has that real world connection. So And like Ms. Gilmore said, we still learn about other stuff like calculating orbital velocity, how many moons are in Saturn, things like that. It also helps us keep learning because that's what we want to do, and then kind of go through some experiences with you guys. So that's kind of what inspires this, I guess, for me.
Okay, Miss Reyes, how would you say inspires is to you?
Inspires to me is a learning opportunity for sure. Um, as as a teacher, I think it's like pushing the students to the limit, to things that they didn't even think they would be able to do or accomplish. So I think for me is that it's an opportunity for me to keep learning and keep growing professionally and of course as a person, but also that pushing the student and just like really kind of make them show what they're made of, like what that there's really no limit for them.
Okay, okay. And finally, Mr. Hernandez, what is inspires to you?
Yeah, inspires is it's everything. And it's something that Mr. Medina always talks about with when he talks about inspires soft skills. You know, it's the skills that they're going to be using beyond inspires. You know, it's public speaking, knowing how to talk, just talk to people, how to answer questions. You know, how to be able to say you don't know without sounding, I mean, for lack of a better term, sounding dumb. Just like, I don't know, we don't know, for due to time constraints, due to this, it's just finding ways to answer questions. And it's English, it's reading, it's science, art, history. It's all the core subjects and the electives all wrapped up into one. And like, yes, it pushes kids. The whole point of the program is to get kids to go into STEM, right? But in the whole process, you have the kids that write really well, and then they work on the PCP, and the quality shows. You have kids that are great designers, and maybe they don't go into STEM, but they go into design, and they go into graphics design, somewhere else. um like, as far as like making movies, I do know this. We had this kid, Felix. I'm pretty sure Ms. Reyes and Mr. Medina remember him. The experiences he got from Inspires, he's bringing that with him because he's, writing. He's like writing movie scripts. He's writing plays. Like, he's been utilizing all of that. And I've had conversations with him, and every now and then he'll bring it up. It's like, what, Inspires taught me this, it taught me that. Mr. Medina with his style of teaching, Ms. Reyes with her attention to detail and the designs for their logos. I mean, that's everything. Inspires is just, it's everything wrapped up into one.
And now, of course, I know we kind of just did it, but what would you have as your closing like thoughts and statements to students and the future of Inspires and everyone? Medina, I'll let you start off.
Okay, well, that's a tough one. I guess I would like to see this continue. I think it's a good thing we have in the Da Vinci culture. I think it's great. But I guess as teachers and the students continue to come to the Da Vinci, it's something we still need to pay attention to detail because it can go overnight. Like COVID hit us hard, and some people don't see, I guess, the beauty of Inspires and doing it because of this COVID situation. But that's why we were not gonna let it go. I know Mr. Hernandez, Ms. Lays, Ms. Gilmore will keep working to kind of keep everybody motivated and kind of show them those end goals that everybody talked about, Mr. Hernandez, Ms. Lays, and Ms. Gilmore. That it is a good thing. It's going to be something good for your resume, for your scholarship applications, even just in your life as an experience, something to talk about in the future years. That yeah, I completed this and I was able to do this, and then everybody's gonna talk about something different. Like Santi years ago, oh, I was the one who started the movies, and I was the one who did the first movie. Derek and Warren in a few years. Yes, we were the ones who started the podcast for Da Vinci, and it generated this ideas. I think it might have been Eliana who started the websites, things like that that people have added into the program. You are going to remember them, and a lot of other people are going to be impacted by them. So when people join Inspires, I hope they keep that in mind, that what are you going to bring to, I guess, either continue this legacy or add to it. I think that's going to be great because I still remember all the people that I've worked with throughout Inspires, all the help that everybody received from, like Malays, Mr. Hernandez. They've been great. Ms. Gilmore starting this year, I know she's going to be great. And then working with the students, all the ideas that you guys know about that I don't know about, because you guys are more, let's say, into technology or things that are happening currently. Like even in our projects, remember that TikTok stuff that some of you guys did that added really good stuff to the project. So things like that is what I don't want them to stop. I want to keep learning from you guys. I want to keep adding stuff to Inspires, and hopefully just, I guess, that keeps going on and on, and then we keep remembering great people like you guys. So
Fantastic, sir. And I'm getting all teary-eyed over here. Reyes, continue off. Closing statements.
Uh, well, do you want me to talk about the big events or?
No, like what's your final thoughts on like Inspires as a whole, and maybe something for the future,
Oh,
for
okay,
the
okay,
students
I'm
and all
sorry.
that. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so basically, um, like Mr. Medina said, I guess we like every year, we try to bring something new, or the students try to think of something innovative for that year, and just basically, I hope that every year, like students really push, because every year, who would have think that we will have COVID going on this year, and that we can really do things like the podcast, or um, the juniors are doing visits, virtual visits to the elementary, and in-person visits as well, just so the kids are still involved and what inspires us and what the high school students do when they get to junior and senior years. So I really hope that future generations really push and try to always innovate, or think of innovative ways of how to reach out to other people, and how to bring more people's attention, so Inspires can keep growing and growing every year. I know because of COVID, it's been really hard, but we can find ways. Podcast was a really good idea. The visits through Zoom to the elementary, I think that those are really cool ideas, and we're still um, getting people's attention. Social media and all those ideas. I really hope that Inspires can keep growing, and that the students are really motivated every year, and that they keep in mind that we are here to help you guys out, and whatever idea you have, we're gonna help out as much as possible so it can be done.
Fantastically said. Ms. Gilmore, closing statements and thoughts.
Well, my thoughts, as Mr. Medina and Ms. Reyes said, it is a very nice opportunity for you guys to networking, to develop skills that you didn't know you have, to teamwork, to being like a leader, to interviewing, to it is this is what you're gonna see in your future, in your professional life eventually. And I think it's pretty cool that you guys are doing in a young age, so you can get used to it and get more, exposure to what it is. I think also due to COVID, I think that you guys are thinking out the box on giving on ideas how we can engage our community. and they're very nice ideas about that. I think that innovation too, as these ideas at the podcast and visiting the elementary schools, sending the links. So this is pretty nice for engaging the community.
Amazing. Now, of course, this random guy's closing thoughts and statements. Mr. Hernandez?
I guess just my thoughts. I think that right now what we're doing with Inspires, I think it's a testament to our ability to overcome and adapt, in different situations. We came into this already aware of the fact that there was a possibility that there was going to be no Alabama trip, right? And it was as soon as they said, you know what, it's going to be all virtual. It's like, okay, that's fine. ACE isn't going to be what it was before. It's more about outreach, having people come to your website, to your hub, and check out your stuff. And it was like, okay, that's fine. And so I think that it's a testament to our ability to adjust and accommodate whatever challenges we've been facing, and like everybody else has said, thinking out of the box, being innovative, looking for ways to engage the community, to get people to participate, to inform people about Inspires, about STEM related fields, and utilizing whatever tools are at our disposal, and achieving and doing still what is supposed to be done when it comes to Inspires.
Thank you for all these wonderful words. I'm going to wrap up the episode now. For a quick recap for our listeners, Mr. Medina loves listening to his students cry. Mr. Hernandez thinks that if you don't know an answer, you're stupid. Miss Reyes gets very mad at her students while presenting. And Miss Gilmore really misses her students when they're not in school. So I'd like to thank every single one of you listeners. I hope you like, subscribe, and share this to all your friends. And I'd like to thank the Crowdsource Productions for sponsoring this. And once again, I'd like to thank each one of the people here today. Thank you so much for coming. This podcast wouldn't be anything without you guys.
It's true. Also,
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Okay, I'll see you all next time.